You're trying to enjoy your life. All of the happy moments that you have. You are being loved by somebody and you love somebody. You might have a family, children, grandchildren, and you're trying to have the best for them. And then comes to the point that you have to decide what you're going to do for the people. And this is me. Another person is Arunas from England and Aidas from Lithuania. Three of us, with the help of another gentleman, Tiger, from Kazakhstan, decided that we're going to do something that others didn't want to do. They wanted money. Greed. Do I want money? Yes, I do. But there is something that I cannot sell. We dedicated ourselves to the humanity. Stupid, I know that. You can lose your life because of that. Untapped energy called free energy. For no doing reason, over unity.com doesn't work any longer. We've been perfecting the device as of today, around 1 o'clock. During the daytime, over unity stopped to work. I don't know if it's permanently closed, who closed them, or there is just a server problem. It doesn't work any longer. It's a warning signal, people. So in case anything happened to one of us or three of us, we want to leave the record. I'm perfectly healthy, there is nothing that is wrong with me, and I expect to live very, very long period of time, if somebody doesn't stop me with it. Please save this video as soon as you can, as we don't know what's going to happen next. Which pages will disappear, which information will disappear. It's a time to act, people. It's the time to fight for the better, with those who want to kill this technology, as it happened since the Tesla time and the time of JP Morgan. It is real, it works. You don't have to believe in it. I don't have a particular reason to convince you that it works. It is you people who decide. I want to check it out or not. We don't charge you for it. We don't hide any secrets. So we happen to be the most dangerous people in the planet Earth, for some of you. Over unity.com was having over 1 million viewers. So if this is the attempt to suppress the technology exactly at the very minute we announced to each other, three of us, that we found very critical moment, telling us that we don't need the ground wire, and soon the gas, gasoline, and electric will be replaced by self-powered electric device for free. So for the record, about 1 minute after us finding that critical moment, over unity.com stopped working. We've been communicating over the Skype at that moment. We don't know if somebody was listening to us and reacting this way. Beefy with the half of the parade is on the table, the other one is in the hand. The one in the hand, 50 wines, one winding. 15 wines, second one. We put together two halves. That one, which you see now, is the beefy log. Recommended 150 wines, about 10 meters of wire from each one of the two wires together. Beefy is the one that we connect the light bulb 100 watts into it. Two generators, 0.2 amp, 10 volts, connected to 50 wines and 15 wines. И это есть 5 ваттов на входе мы посчитали. 5 ваттов.
Это мы их управляем, вот этих двух устройств. Сейчас я вам показываю. Это у нас эти.
These are the generators.
Симпатичный сзади его одного. Сейчас покажу. Вот выводы. Потому что там у меня переделка, сильнее сигнал. Ну, не сильнее сигнал, но там диоды. Я поставил, боюсь спойлить, что между генератором смешанный сигнал, без диода, без ничего.
10 volts, 0.25 amps each one of the generators. We're talking about 2.5 watts per generator.
I can choose wire in hand, I am not receiving electroshock, but because it's very high frequency, and I don't feel pain. It's about 300 watts.
And now you see the light bulb 150 watts driven by 0.2 amp, 10 volts, times two generators, one at 400 and change kilohertz, the other one at 50 kilohertz, modulating the first one.
Another make like antenna, it's both anyway. Still lighting. I'm removing cables from the generator. Wait a second, I'll show you what's happening over magnetic field.
When you disconnect these two halves, you have to wait for a moment till they are ready to be connected again.
Translator, I'm speaking Russian. Я дотрагиваю, они держатся. Но надо сразу подождать, они не сразу срабатывают. Они сразу вот держатся, не хочет срабатывать. Надо соединиться и подождать. Вон они начинают...
Listen to the sound of working ferrite.
Еще не сработало. Вот, слышно. Слышишь, Леся?
Да.
Звук.
Да, слышу.
Вот он не работает. После выключения еще будет работать несколько секунд. Я выключаю. Они держатся. Потом исправишь моменты, которые там некрасиво получились.
Да, нет.
Тупо. I showed it again. It's simple to read. Just need to do it and start and work. Exactly. I am disconnecting cables.
While connected, the two halves hold themselves with the magnetic field.
Still not working. Вы вырежешь это потом. Показывал нормально, звук появился. Просто нестыковка было. Кабель намешал между ферритами. Еще не работает. Надо, чтобы мы намагнитили.
Да.
Говорю, одна волна для намагничивания. Одна сторона вообще-то получается в таком последнем, но по идее должна быть плюсовая. Или так плюсовая, или так, короче, или так, я не знаю, что Тима Коля работает. Но она быстрее плюсовая, минусовая. Получается.
Хорошо. So, we have had two generators, 10 volts, 0.25 amp, which gives us 5 watts. 5 watts plus 5 watts. Completely, the possible maximum power that is being delivered is 10 watts. The output 150 watts light bulb in full brightness.
But I can touch this wire, I'm not receiving pain. It's a very interesting moment. Because I don't feel it's very high, not very high frequency, it's high frequency, about 400 kHz and corner of 5 kHz. About, but we can change that. I don't feel if you take it. But if you really I'm receiving damage, but I don't feel it.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your show.
What we can show the generators.
Computer-driven generators, one more time. This is the only signal that is delivered to the device. When we start to hammer the device with a sparker, that is drawing approximately 15 watts, we're getting 1 kilowatt of power ready to be used by the load. One more time, close look at the B-filter. Two windings, 15 and 50 watts on one side and B-filter from the other side. Recommended 150 watts on it. Now you see it working right now. Now the discovery as of today, again, two pieces of paper put in between two halves of the ferrite that made it happen, but another one was on its way. In the last video I suggested to concentrate on the dipole antenna with the coaxial cable inside, where one half is active, the other one is not.
And we must connect per gap counter, but still working. And we just find a couple minutes ago we need paper between ferrites. We have better output.
So I see the two pieces of paper being put in between two ferrites, which improves the performance. Regular dipole antenna has the active element and counterpoise or the balance on it, and we were able to eliminate the ground wire by simply putting another wire on hanging by itself, although we didn't have the impedance match at that point. Watch the discovery live.
Вижу.
In progress when it happened. Two hands paradox.
Вот две руки.
Да.
Ничего нет. Такой парадокс. Он самодействует как-то странно со землей. Вот две руки.
Ха-ха!
Again discovery live in progress while is happening now.
А где ты дотронулся?
Hence create the capacitors.
Конденсаторы. На другом проводе ничего. Вот.
Only one wire from 16 winds winding.
Держи, 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 так как ты держишь.
Hold it.
А слушай, а там конденсатора никакого нету, ты просто
You don't have any capacitor over there.
ты делаешь конденсатор руками.
Да. Не могу понять,
Yes.
как это работает. Но надо было конденсаторами
The time is
порегулировать.
2 o'clock
Вот эти.
p.m.
Then we change the body capacitance to the piece of wire.
Понятно. А ты это 16 витков, это 15 витков, да?
There was a little
Ты трогаешь?
confusion.
Как?
Не, ты кадуцеус трогаешь.
Я входную трогаю.
Кадуцеус,
16 wires.
кадуцеус, это два конца соединены вместе, это есть кадуцеус.
Then we establish the basis.
Это подпитка, подмагничивание катушки.
Это 16 витков.
16 winds, right?
Да, а почему тебе 16 витков вместе скручены?
We look at the concept again.
Ну они вот же стоят. Это 50, а наверх 16.
You see, this is 50 winds and this is
Да, а
16.
у тебя эти два провода
А теперь
скручены.
скажи, почему этот провод,
Why when I'm touching this wire, I'm getting...
реагирует? Вы видишь? Пальцами трогаю.
Да.
Okay, so connect the wire instead
А
of the
это
hand.
тяжело от чего?
Вот. Ты видишь? Подожди.
Give it a little bit more light because it's dark over there.
Подожди, камеру поставлю поближе.
Where
Да,
I'm
камера
gonna take the
дает чуть
camera.
больше света, а тут темно. Вообще.
Сейчас,
A little bit more light. It's too dark over there.
сейчас.
Okay.
А, сейчас вижу.
Oh, now I see.
Вот. Подожди, лампочки не
I don't understand why is that happening. So he said. So I said, let's try the concept of the wire.
Понять, пока что этого я еще не выяснил. Я только нечаянно так это заметил, если так откровенно сказать.
Ну, так, 16 вольт, да, это из две бумаги. 16 витков. 16 витков идет на один генератор. 51 витков идет на второй генератор.
Do you see two of my hands?
Да. И ты трогаешь с одного конца.
И ничего на этом. А
Да.
на этом?
Yes, I'm touching only one wire from 16
Это
wide
из
winding.
генератора, который идет.
Да.
That's the one from the generator. Yes,
Нифига себе.
I can't believe it.
А когда дотронешься до 51 витков,
Try to touch 51 winds winding.
Ничего, нигде.
Nothing.
ты рукой дотронешься до провода от 51 витков, до второго генератора.
Сейчас.
Try one more time 51 winds.
Ничего. А второй конец?
Nothing.
Вот. И только один провод. То же самое с землей. Вот земля.
And I can try the same with the ground wire.
Это тот самый провод, который мы
I'm touching the ground wire.
Да.
На том проводе ничего, а на другом...
Все. Только знаешь что? Смотри, я вижу здесь провода, там где 51 витков идет желтый провод. Там у тебя два провода сходятся в одно место. Этого я не понимаю.
Почему в одно место?
Но
Another
видишь,
confusion.
здесь на экране, там где желтый провод, не это, с правой стороны. Оставь это. Да, это желтый провод, да. А, сейчас понимаю. Все.
Okay, I understand everything.
Он выглядит, да. Понятно. О, видишь? Ты видел это или нет?
Look at that.
Ничего.
Ну как, загорелось на секунду?
I've seen the light.
Но то, что я видел, загорелось на
I've
секунду.
seen the light.
Нечаянно. До этого. Я не могу понять, почему. Вот наши...
I don't understand why that happened.
На искру. Тоже ничего. Странное явление. Это
Still don't understand.
Вот он самое со землей. На одном ничего, это то же
Nothing.
самое водка сраная. А на другом вот...
When I touch the second wire of 16 winds winding, I have a light.
выяснять.
Хорошо.
Пока что не знаю ответа.
Ну очень хорошо.
Very good.
Подожди, еще один вопрос к тебе.
Wait a
Сейчас у
moment.
тебя
One
два
more.
генератора подключены. Два генератора подключены.
You have two generators
На
connected.
лампочке конденсаторы стоят.
Or you connected bank of capacitors
На
into the light.
лампочке стоят конденсаторы.
Да, параллельно на лампочке.
Yes, I have parallel
Подожди.
bank
Ты
of
с генератора еще
capacitors.
дал параллельно конденсаторы.
Да.
Ага.
Yes.
Я пробовал измерять тут всякие контуры, хуёнтуры.
I disconnected because I was trying to see what's gonna happen.
Понятно.
Только так.
Только я не понимаю одного. Ты сейчас, когда ты не дотронулся руками, ты подавал сигнал с генератора, ты подавал с одного и другого генератора.
Yeah, you are having two
Да.
generators only.
Вообще-то, теперь я подавал очень слабый сигнал, чтобы мериться с осциллографом.
Я понимаю.
Когда я до зем-
Понятно. Обозначает, что ты подавал так же и само, как ты первым подавал.
Да.
Только ты
очень
подавал
слабый
сейчас
сигнал.
очень слабый ток.
You are giving now very low current
Вот
and
я
very low
делаю
voltage.
несколько вольт. А как я
Понятно.
дотрагиваюсь, ну вот это надо выяснить, не знаю. Это как
Я понимаю. А подожди еще. А если бы ты сейчас увеличил ток, чтобы она вообще без дотрогивания горела, и ты дотронешься пальцем, что будет?
What's gonna happen when you increase the current?
Ты понял?
Да,
You understand
сейчас,
that?
вот.
Я не вижу экрана.
I don't see the screen.
Пиздец. Сейчас.
So basically, we're trying to establish what we're standing at before we get to the point when we disconnect the ground and we use the piece of wire as a counterforce or the balance like in regular antenna. We didn't have an impedance match at that point yet, but this is only the problem of the length of the wire.
Это сейчас работает без дотрогивания.
Да, от генератора.
От генератора работает. И сейчас
Да.
от генератора работает. Сейчас дотронься рукой. Ничего.
Now touch it with your hand.
Угасает.
I see less light.
Да.
Я думаю, у меня есть ответ на это.
I think I know the answer for that.
Есть ответ на это.
Yes, there is an answer.
И от импеданции зависит, какой ток идет от генератора.
The current from the generators depends from the impedance level.
Омов. Каждый
You have a 50
50
ohm impedance
омов.
from the generator.
Ты сейчас подаешь рукой,
Now you're using
и
your
ты
hands to
увеличиваешь
impedance
ток,
match.
который идет от генератора. Если бы ты мог миллиампер-метр включить сейчас в это, что ты трогаешь рукой.
Connect milliampere meter to
Чтобы
that.
посмотреть, сколько миллиампер там идет.
А у меня тестер батарейка сразу. Ну сейчас посмотрим.
I don't know if my tester is gonna work.
Еще она еще вытянет. Я включаю на 2 миллиампера.
Okay, I'm gonna check with the range of 2 milliamp. Okay, now he's trying to connect milliamp meter to check the current.
Ой, как
And we are very close to the point in which we decided to check the wire instead of the ground wire. If we were to put the proper length of the wire as a counterpoise, we would have a full brightness.
так, тестер не видно, конечно.
I don't see anything right now. He's preparing himself to measure the current. The voltage, later on, he's trying to measure, but his meter is not able to record the voltage at the frequency of 400 and change kilohertz. He recorded 19 milliamperes.
Сколько?
19 миллиампер.
19 миллиамперов. А сейчас сейчас подключи, пожалуйста, вольтметр между два провода, померь мне напряжение.
Try to check the voltage.
Причем, когда ты дотрогивался с зондой, он у тебя заработал тоже.
When you start to touch with the probe, it was working as well, I've seen.
Ну как 0 вольт? От генератора не выходит 0 вольт. Ты ж подаешь от
Вот, смотри, другой провод в руке.
I cannot measure the voltage.
Один здесь держу, вот.
Это провода от чего? От вольтметра.
What is it holding you?
Смотри.
Хорошо, ты должен дотронуться до двух проводов, чтобы померить напряжение.
You should touch both of the ends.
Она не померит.
No, I'm not gonna be able to measure.
Понятно. А сейчас ты дотрогаешься только одной зондой, и даже землей не дотрогаешься, и заработает от зонды просто.
No, you're holding the wire and it's working.
Показываю.
Одну зонду только подключаешь.
Зонд видишь, да?
Да.
Take now 2 meters of wire and try to connect to that point.
Зондой. Сейчас возьми 2 метра провода или отключи зонду. И подключи зонду на висящем проводе, пожалуйста.
You understand, right?
Ты понял? Нигде не подключено, просто висит себе провод.
Make the 2 meter of wire just hanging out.
Да. Подключай одним концом. Подключай одним концом.
Connect it.
Все. Сейчас. Да, сейчас. Сделай так, чтобы держалось этого, и брось провод, чтобы ты его не держал в руках.
Now make sure that you're not touching this wire with your hand.
Вот.
Ой, все.
That's
Это
it,
моя
done.
теория. Весь антивесь. Добавляешь длину провода, которая тебе нужна. На катушке даже, на катушке, которая делает противвесь, и это работает.
This is my theory,
Ты
antenna and counterpoint.
Да.
Все.
Yes,
Ой,
I know.
дорогой мой, я бы тебя обнял просто, я бы тебе...
А ты смотри, когда будет, я дотронусь до второго конца этого.
I'll give you a hug for it.
Смотри, как я палец не могу засунуть, я там железо засуну.
Now I'm gonna put a piece of wire inside that connector.
Видишь?
Да. Короче, слушай.
Yes, I can see that.
Да, я вижу. Ну да, это рукой ты делаешь емкость. Слушай,
Да.
значит
Вот
так,
этим
я повторяю конфигурацию по-английски, потому что надо бросить мне это на видео. Я конфигурацию по-английски повторяю. У тебя есть два сигнал генератора, каждый дает 10 вольт, 0,25 ампер. Дальше.
0,25 миллиампер. Ты можешь
Да.
спецификацию дать и показать.
Да. Дальше. Ничего больше к этим точкам не подключено. Да.
Нет.
Хорошо. Дальше. Ты...
Yeah, two generators,
генераторы, и у тебя 152
10 volts, 0.2 amp inch, and 150 light bulb.
Две бумаги.
And you have two pieces of
Да.
paper in between
Okay,
two
хорошо,
halves of the
давай.
plate. Okay, I'm posting it to YouTube
Давай,
because
я
over unity.com doesn't work. My wife is checking it constantly.
Проверяет. Ну давай.
The extreme amount of knowledge came from Arunas from England. And without him, I don't know, would we move that fast and that much. And I wish you guys the best. God be with you.
Okay, that's what you need for the project. A ferrite that is cut in half. It's got to be right ferrite. We don't know which one is right ferrite yet. Then, when you have that ferrite, you simply put the tape on the half of it. Then, when you take a bright, which is this, you put this inside on that half that is covered with the tape, like that. Then, you bend it, and then after you bend it, you put it from the other side, like that. Now, you're going to have two ends, one next to the other. So it's going to be like that, that, and then inside, exactly half of that ferrite. Now, on that board, you make the windings. You see the four ends. You see these two ends. This is one, and this is the other one. And this is my bright. It's folded in here. I didn't even cut it. I just fold it. I know if that shows properly. Folded, right? Okay. Now, this is one wind. This end and this end, covering half of the ferrite, 50 winds. These two ends are the end of the 15 winds. I put 51 and 16. Now, on the other half, you put bifilar 2 wires that would look like this. This would be one end, and from the other side you're going to have another one. What has happened with me is that when I was winding this and this and this and this, I've got this ends from one side. So you see 2 ends and 2 ends. Now you take the beginning of one of these two, connect with the end of the other one. Now you have 2 wires left over. Those are the 2 wires that goes to the light bulb. Okay? Now, on these 2 ends, you connect one generator. On these 2 other ends, you connect another generator. This is a primary a ramp shape signal that is coming from one generator. In our example, 0.2 amp and 10 volts. And it was not really impedance match. We didn't measure the impedance match. We don't know what was the impedance match. So the real voltage could be much smaller. On these 2 ends, 50 hertz. Don't count on 50 hertz. Just try to tune. You're going to modulate that first winding, as I said, 400 to 600 kilohertz. The second one. After you have it done, even with the spark gap, when you connect to these 2 wires, the light bulb, you're going to see that a light bulb of approximately 60 watts will lead. Not bad, even without the spark gap. If you're lucky, at the experiment that we have made, 150 watts was leading, not bad. And when we connect the ground to this wire exactly, which is the 15 winding, we've got the full brightness without the spark gap. Now, you try to hammer, see these 2 ends. You take that transformer 5X and you connect the high voltage through the spark gap to these 2 ends. So one end, see this end, this is the end, will go to one side, and the other one end, which is the high voltage, will spark in here. Now, of course, it is good if we deliver to the primary that has 3 ends on it. You take only 2 of them, like in the previous video, and you connect a right frequency. We don't know what is the right frequency for it yet. But even if you deliver 1 spark in here, you will see that the light bulb will go full brightness in about 1 kilowatt. Yes, it is 1 kilowatt. So 10 watts from one generator, 10 watts from the other generator. This small transformer, delivering the spark up, 1 kilowatt out. We'll be trying with 600 watts full brightness. So that's all you guys need, and start working on it. Don't let suppress this technology. It's a freedom for all of us. Well, surprisingly, this is everything that you need. This is the whole device. Now, how it works. You take a piece of ferrite. Now, you gotta understand, not every ferrite will work with that. I have winded this one, and it happens to not really work very much. I wasn't able to tune to it. Now, what you see in here is a ferrite ring. Today's development is you have to have this ring cut on half. 2 halves. Now, you put a very thin piece of wire from both sides. I'm sorry, paper. In both sides, creating 2 halves. On this half, you wind 1 wind, which is 50 winds, of the wire 18 gauge, say. Now, you see in here 2 ends. These ends belong to another coil that is wounded with 16 winds or 15 winds on it. Now, on this side, another half, you see bifilar winding. It's a carousels or carousel coil, which is 2 wires together, wounded, and then you take end of one and connect with the beginning of the other one. Then you have 1 end in here, 1 end over there. That's how you do it. So 18 gauge wire. This could be 18 gauge as well. If you want, you can use it even thicker wire. Now that's what you see in here. This and that. You use a bright, and I'm gonna show you the bright, how the bright looks like. Which this is the bright. It's a simple wire. Looks like a bright from the coaxial cable. You see, and you can buy this stuff. This one is silver coated. I paid for it probably about $5 for it, and it was a roll of 20 feet long. So it's not very expensive. Now, I was trying also to do the experiment with the ferrite pipe. I didn't finish yet that. So what you gotta do is, my particular situation, don't think about the pipe yet. You take the bright, you put it here, you fold it, and you put it out inside, and you have another side in here. So, what are we having in here? We have a dead bright that is wounded on the inner edge of that ferrite, goes in here, is connected with a piece of wire, or it's connected with unpad, and is folded and comes from the other side. And you have 2 ends in here. 2 ends. Now, you follow these ends, and it goes further. So again, one wind, 50 winds. The second wind is 15 winds. The third wind is the bifilar one. You take two wires about approximately 10 meters long. So that would be 20 meters. You fold it in half, so you have 10 pieces, 10 meters long now, together. You wind them, both of them. Now you take end of the one, connect to the beginning of the second one. You have one end in here, one end over there. The next step, you have to deliver to 50 winds, winding, which would be, you see one end in here, and then you see another one end in here. You will have to deliver the frequency of approximately 400 to 500 kilohertz. In my particular situation, when I was dealing with this ferrite, I had a frequency of 220 kilohertz. Now, if you look at that, you see that I have two ends in here, one and two. Those are the ends of the bright that goes from here, inner part, folds in here and goes the outer part and goes out. That's how you got to do it. Now, the second wind that you have is the 16 winds or 15 winds winding. You connect approximately 50 hertz into it. You try to modulate the 50 hertz with whatever the frequency is there. We came to this frequency because we found a self-resonant of the ferrite at approximately 1.2, 1.5 megahertz, and we delivered the 1.5 megahertz to the oscilloscope, I mean to the bright, that means to these two ends. And then we look at the frequency spectrum that we have had out of 50 winds, in my particular situation 51. And we found a very particular peak on the spectrum analyzer that was telling us the frequency of approximately 400, 500 in IDA's situation. So what then we did, we took the generator and we delivered that frequency to this winding. Modulated with 50 hertz, doesn't have to be 50 hertz, you just look for the sweet spot, and then you take that bifilar winding and connect the light bulb to it. That's all you need. Now you might put across these two ends of the bifilar a capacitor approximately 6.8 nanofarad. It will enlarge the effect. Remember, two pieces of paper in here, dividing it. Exactly similar concept to we had in the first video, although we didn't use the spark in here. So what you're doing is, look at the picture. Primary two copper plates, spark up. Those are the end, and goes here. 1 second. Dielectric between copper plate on ferrite. Okay, we put a piece of paper and piece of paper. Primary 50 turns. Primary is 15 turns, which is the small coil. This one is approximately 150 turns, which in my particular situation I use only 80 winds bifilar. So it was 80 and 80 because it was bifilar. So bifilar means one next to the other two wires. That's what we have. That's the whole concept. Now, when you deliver, that's what we did today. 0.2 amp, 10 volts, which comes to 5 watts, with a frequency of 400 and change, and another modulating frequency with the same power of 50 hertz, we've got a 150 watts light bulb, full working bright. And then the discovery was two pieces of paper in here, and then replacing the ground wire with the corresponding piece of wire. And now our situation, it was only 2 meters of wire, which was not long enough. We've got lighting light bulb. So if this 5 watts could sum itself, it would be 10 watts in, 100 watts out. That's a discovery. Now, you wanna believe it? It's up to you. But the change is coming. The year 2012 is coming now. So simple device to assemble anybody. Right ferrite, and right properties. Follow the concept, do yourself. Make the oil barons suffer.